First thing to remove is the cotter pin that connects the top arm to the knuckle. I removed the nut and used a ball joint separator. Now it's time to separate the caster arm from the top arm. The main bolt from the top arm is inside the engine bay right next to the motor mount. It's not shown, but I use a socket to keep the bolt from moving with the nut. I then went to BTR Chicago to get my poly bushings pressed in, as I don't have a press at home right now. They do excellent work and focus on classic European cars.
We have today front control arms from 1970 Alfa Giulia, which I'm gonna quickly explain how to replace stock rubber bushings with the polyurethane ones, which are stiffer and they deflect much more, so it's better, firmer ride and more precise steering. So step one is we have to remove the factory bushings. To do that, you need obviously a bench press, and we are using a correct size socket which you put underneath to support the control arm, and then you have to find the correct size of other socket for the top of the bushing. And actually this one is for this size, so you always have to press in on the outer edge, never on the inside, because you're gonna turn the rubber apart and the bushing never gonna come out. So you have to find the correct diameter for the outer part of the bushing. So obviously this was for the smaller end, so this socket corresponds with diameter of this, so you have to support it like this Y socket, because you got opening where the old bushing is gonna go through. You cannot use obviously flat surface because you got no space to push it out. So the socket upside down, you support a control arm, you find another correct size, you put it on top, you press it out. Then when you got the bushing out, it looks like this. This is a small end, this is a big end. Those are the stock bushings. Most likely, unfortunately, you're gonna damage them. This one came out perfect, but this one we got a little bore on it, so we can't use it, but anyway. Then on the new poly bushings, it's extremely important that you use the silicone paste, 3M or some other brand readily available to help with the assembly. So you put a little bit on the edge, and then again, you can find the correct socket for it. And I have a bearing installer kit. So we can find nice flat surface which not gonna deflect the bushing, it's gonna go perfectly in. Put our shaft together and just press it using a silicone paste, press it gently in. You should remove those center bushings. That gives us a little space for deflecting the rubber, so when it contracts inside it's gonna pop in easier. Then again, use a little bit of silicone paste, prevent it from squeaking and kind of rust proofing, and just press those in. Those are just finger tight fit. They fit perfectly here. So we did this operation 4 times on all 4 bushings which we replaced. Those are the same control arms in many Alfa Romeo, so this is a kind of helpful for all the GTV, Giulia, Spider, all the way to mid-80s. They look exactly the same, it's the same part number. So that applies for many different cars.
Put the top arm back inside the chassis. Slide the bolt inside the engine bay back in and tighten it all up. Do everything else in reverse order and make sure to use nylon nuts or cotter pins to keep everything in place.